All right, are we live? Let's see. I see that Koji is in here. I see my test message seeing if my thing is actually working. So I'm going to wait a few seconds before we get some people in here. I'm going to actually try to open my water without it exploding. So we'll start this stream off interestingly. Is that a word? I have sound coming through on my phone. Let me pause that. There we go. Hello, Joseph Scotch Tape. Scotch Tape. We can call me Scotch Tape now. Shake it up first. No, these always explode. They always... See, look at those bubbles. Look at that. So, just very carefully. Hey, Zach. How's it going? Alright, we got people in here. Yes, Zach, you made another stream. We are here. We're going to dive right into it. So, this is the Scotto frog, which some of you have probably seen before. I mean, I've shared this in a lot of places. But we're going to be building this with a nice nano today. So we're going to be building that. I got a new remote for my camera, so I can kind of like punch in and stuff. So I don't have to like do the wobbly cam, which is nice. Which this will be very useful today. But we'll just put on that. And I think we're just going to dive in. So let's start off by taking our switches. And we will take our stabilizers, which are just some Duroc V2 plate mounts right there. These stabilizers are such a pain in the ass, too, because I tried some different ones that I had, and then I just went back to my original, which are just Durocs. These are what I always use. So I'll pop those on in, and we will dive into the build. I have to move, so my keyboards are at a dead stop. RIP. Yeah, I dread when I have to move, because I have so much stuff around me in my room, my workshop, all the different areas of my house. There's so much stuff that it'll be such a pain, but... So, we're going with Gatoron yellows on this build. They didn't specify a switch or anything. I didn't really ask either, but these are pretty standard ones. So this is a commission build too. I should mention that this is a commission build for someone. What they're going to actually do that I could show right now, that's kind of cool, is I printed 2 sets of keycaps for this. So I have these textured ones here. If I pull these off. So these are just the typical Scotto caps flat, which are just textured like that, which look nice. But then I also printed these on a smooth plate, which you can see, this was a little dirty, but they have like this flat texture on them and this white on top because they have stickers from the original frog pad. So they're going to try to put like stickers on these. We're going to be putting the actual legend caps on, but you can see kind of flat. So they're going to try to put some stickers on it. The plate is 3mm. Yes, it is 3mm thick there. So you can see that's 3mm. And this stabilizer part is actually kind of indent. So then that's only 1.5 there. That way they can actually clip in. So... But yeah, we're going to continue on with this. Let me make sure I don't mix up my baggies of keycaps here. Take those ones over there. That one actually goes in there also. We'll also put this one in here. So I should mention too with these stabilizers is that I did a basic mod to them. I just put some dielectric grease in there. So some of this right here. Just some dielectric grease to make them a little bit better. 3mm plate makes up for loss of stability with no PCB. Yeah, it makes up for, like, issues with 3D print. Because if you look here on this 1.5 thick, this is 1.5, it's a little flexible. You can see on the 3mm, it's, like, a lot more sturdy. So it kind of just makes it a little bit more rigid. But we will continue and put these switches on the build. Which I actually had just enough left in my bulk bag of Gatoron yellows, too. I love these silky yellows. They're really good switches. I'd say they're probably one of the better linears out there. Like, mass available linears, I guess. Because you can get these basically anywhere. Amazon, AliExpress, like, they're just everywhere, and they're pretty decent. Have you ever soldered a microcontroller on the wrong side? I've never soldered it on the wrong side, but for the Scotto wing. So the Scotto wing, well, we can switch over and take a look. I'll just show it on here. Scotto wing. So this board here, I actually soldered the controller twice for this one because the first time I did it, I got a dead Pi 0 or RP24 to 0. It was completely dead. The controller just didn't go into bootloader or anything. So it wasn't like flashed wrong. It wasn't like shorting out, so it's completely dead. So I had to solder that one twice, which was a little bit annoying. I mean, luckily I just had to switch the pins around a little, but that was just irritating. They had to solder 2 controllers. Will this faceplate take the low-profile Choco switches? It's going to be using the flat caps, if that's what you mean. So they're going to be these right here, which is going to look nice. Why am I getting an error saying YouTube is not receiving enough video? What is... I see my connection's fine. Excuse me, YouTube. What are you doing to me today? Oh, it says... Okay, no, this... Some of you might be getting buffering right now. YouTube seems to be being weird. This isn't my stream. My stream's sending it fine. So I don't know. That's weird. But yeah, we'll pop these in. Ow, just stabbed myself with that one. Jeez. Is my internet crashing right now? I think my internet's crashing. I'm getting like 2,000 on my bit rate. Why would that be doing that? Okay, we're back up to 12. Okay, I don't know. That was weird. Have you ever had the plate flex after clipping the switches? Yeah, sometimes the plate will kind of do one of these. It will bow, but not so much on 3mm. On 3mm, it's typically pretty decent with that. So that's why I do the 3mm plate. But yeah, let's pop this over, and we will start on this build with our columns. So we have our column wires here. All of these. Where else? We have more. They're like all buried here. But yeah, I pre-cut all these, so I have these all ready to go. We'll just be able to pop these on. That's actually row wire. That's a row wire, and that one is also a row. These are our columns right here, so the kind of shorter ones. This one will kind of bend right like that. We want to get this aligned too, so it's like just where we want it. So we cut this a little short. All right, that will go like that. How does the stream look for everyone right now? Because it's saying that I'm streaming at my normal bitrate, but YouTube's giving me an error saying that it's like not getting video. So I don't know. We will find out. Jeez, I don't know what's up with this connector on my soldering iron. Like, oh my god. Jesus. I might want to crush those down a little bit, because that is, like, really brutal. Kind of jerky. Oh, Clark, you're the one. I don't know if I should say that, but you're the one that has this board. This is your board. I mean, you know that, so. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube is being weird. It's giving me bitrate, but it's giving me an error on the, like, on the YouTube side of things, not on, like, my streaming thing. Huh. Yeah, it looks like it's smooth. I mean, it's smooth. Let's give it a few minutes and see what happens. So, we'll see what happens here. As long as you guys can see what's going on for the most part, that's all that matters. Man, that connector on my soldering iron is brutal, but... Alright, let me turn on my filter here. Is that on? Alright, it looks like the air went away. I think we're good. I think YouTube was just being dumb there for a second. So, alright, let's begin soldering this up. Let me make sure I put the case somewhere because I had it positioned like right by the thing, which would have been bad. So I'll put that over there. Then we will get this to... Let's go to like 320. I've been going a little hotter lately with my builds. Just makes life a little easier soldering these up. And actually, what I want to do before I pop these on is I want to test my stabilizers. I always like to make sure these stabilizers are good because the 3D printed plates and stuff with stabilizers can be a pain at times. So I just like to make sure that, yeah, that feels good. So, pop that off. Wiggle it off. Okay. Have you tried the Pine Steel soldering iron? No, I've looked at it. I love my TS100 and I haven't even upgraded the TS101. What is this music? What is this music? No. I want Christmas wish. It's not Christmas time, okay. So yeah, I just stick with the TS100 or the TS101 is like the newer version of that. Which I will eventually get the TS101 because they made like some improvements on like ergonomics, but I mean this one's pretty good, so I don't really mind. What temp do you use when desoldering switches? Same question for YG. Probably 320. Just kind of whatever work. Oh, same question for chat. My dad must be watching. He just texted me, wants me to play someone. No, Dad, I will not play Who You Want on Spotify because I don't want to get copyright strike. I would love if I could, but YouTube does not like that. I mean, technically, I could play copyrighted music on the stream. I just have to mute it after it goes to a video on demand. And I don't want to do that, so because, like, people watching this later would just hear nothing right now. And that would just not be good. If this was Twitch, I could actually do that because they allow you to separate different tracks. So I could have copyrighted sound, like have all my music on one track and then separate that out, but it's not Twitch. It's YouTube. All right. Clean. Cool. Where are my... Are these the ones I need for those? Yes. See, I kind of cut these really long. I have an old keyboard that burned down. I'm trying to remove the switches, but it's very difficult. Do you have any tips? Yes, I do. I don't know if you have, but get one of these. Get one of these, a solder sucker. And you can, it, like, sucks the solder up. And if you're having trouble getting the solder off of the switch, like off the pad on the PCB, add more solder. It kind of seems like counterintuitive, but add more solder to it, and it gives it kind of more to, like, suction up. So that's something you could do if you're having issues getting it to come off. Hello, Ken. I do not like how long that one is there. A little bit shorter. Look away while I clip the plastic there. Or the metal. I should actually have on my computer right now the schematic for this. Or at least the matrix. Flux is your friend for desoldering. Yes, that too. You could use flux. Or there is another thing. I'll show this in a second, but yeah, I need this. This is what I need so I can follow this wiring. You can also use this, which is solder braid. Solder wick. Basically has flux in there, and you kind of like put it on the pad with the iron and will kind of pull the stuff up. I don't use that often because I do mostly hand wired, but what is better about this keyboard from a normal single-handed gaming keyboard? So this is based on the frog pad. It's a single-handed keyboard. You can basically get most of the control of a regular keyboard through one hand, through like combos and stuff, which we'll look at once we get the firmware on this, but basically like combo stuff. Maybe if Clark is in the chat, I don't want to put you on the spot because that's who I'm building this for, but if you want to say why it's better, or I mean at least why you like it, you know, because I don't know if it's necessarily better. But it does. I mean, there is benefits with this. Like, if, say, you had a disability where you can't use both hands, well, you can get full functionality on one hand with this. Which, that's, like, a real benefit to it. This build is so much easier to solder than the one I just did, too. The 63 that I did over the weekend. That was a pain to solder because of how I did the columns and rows. So that one was interesting. These ones just come out so much cleaner. Mainly because the wires were higher up on that one, so they're like moving all around as I soldered it. You hit 70 words per minute on the frog pad? That's insane. That is insane, actually. When I test this later, you'll see that I hit like maybe 4, and I have to look at the screen the whole time. I mean, I'm sure if I, like, actually tried to learn it, then, yeah, I could hit faster, but I'm not fast with it at all. I use one side of a corn. So, Diego, you use a corn for a frog pad type layout? Is that what you're saying? It's a perfect little bend in here. I'm gonna have to like bend it around that to get the shape right. I also don't like how much pressure that has on there, so let's bend that a little bit more. Feels a little bit better. Are you interested in doing a Corn V4 build? Not particularly, but didn't that just like come out? Like, I think Fustan just like announced that they're doing the V4. And I think that one's gonna actually have where you could split the 6 column off, so you can do a 4x5 or a 4x6. Because I know on the V3 they got rid of that, which was annoying because you couldn't split it anymore. Oh, Tyler, yeah, I got your order today. I did get that one. So that's going to go out. I'm going to print that after the stream. I'm going to print the case, and then tomorrow I'll send it up. So I'm excited to see what you think about that. That feels a little bit better. Push that up, maybe. Yeah, the Scotto 34 too is not, it's not like crazy like a handwire build for the most part. I mean, the hardest part with that build are the diodes. The diodes are a little bit challenging on it because I wanted it so low profile. I want the SOD 123s, so the surface mount ones. But with patience, you will definitely get them working. It's just, they're small. They're very small. So this wire is not doing what I like. I do not like the positioning of this wire. So what I'm trying to avoid here is I don't like putting too much pressure like in between there. I don't like it trying to like push it out. Do you sell chocolate linear or vendor recommendations? I don't sell any switches. They're just too expensive to stock, and you have to place like massive orders to stock them. But the ones I would recommend is chalk pinks are pretty light. They're like the standard like chalk kind of switch. I wasn't a big fan of reds. So chalk reds, they kind of felt a little wobbly. I mean, they're fine for linear. What I like for chalks, though, are the chalk robins or the chalk whites, which is a clicky. So those are an option there, but it is hot swap, so you can swap them. But for linear, probably chalk reds would be your best bet. I would think for like a standard feeling linear. Yeah, this wire's not doing what I like. I'm gonna do this a little bit differently. In there, and then I'm gonna mark this with some paint marker. Minimum order quantity for switches. I think it's 2,000 for chalks. I think. I mean, it's not like crazy high, but like, I don't sell enough stuff to sell like a bunch of switches, right? So I can't like be spending hundreds of dollars on switches that's stock that will kind of just sit there, which is why I've never done it. Maybe one day, but I'd rather just let people go to a vendor that has a lot more options for switches than maybe 1 or 2 options that I could have. So I kind of just don't do that. We were doing this one. So that will bend there, and then we can bend this a little bit shorter than that. The minimum order for hot swap sockets was kind of crazy too. It was like 2,000. I mean, but that's how like a vendor gets them cheaper, right? Like that's how, if I did want to sell them, how I would not be like completely losing my ass if I did sell them, is I'd have to buy such a big order that it makes it worth it for the company to sell to me like that. And look how nice that is now. Perfect. Look at that. Way better. So we'll cut that up. Which vendors do I like buying switches from? Hyperactive is the one that I typically, if I get chalk from, if I need them fast, I'll buy them from there. If you want them cheap, AliExpress. You can get a lot of options on AliExpress, like probably 13, 14 bucks for, I think it's like 70 switches for that. It might be 35. But if you look on AliExpress, that's where I'll get a lot of my chalk switches from. But if I'm buying from like United States, I want them within like a few days, I'll get them from Typeractive. And I'm not just saying that because like I've had Typeractive videos, like they're actually pretty decent. So I feel like I gotta say that because someone gave me slack on Reddit recently for not, or well, they thought I was like being sponsored by a brand when I wasn't. So they kind of called me out saying that I'm like lying on something. It was weird. But yeah. Is that a Burt Bacharach tune in the background? It's called Storvindelen by Bladver Band. Type-reactive ships really fast. Yeah, it's insane, actually. I'll play stuff, and they're pretty quick. I know Nick over there, too. I don't, like, know him. I just know him from online, but they're pretty good. I like their corn kit. My corn video is at, like, almost 150,000 views, too. So that's kind of cool. Why is my iron? Come on, iron. You can do it. I actually want to fix that pin. I don't like how the pin is. This is the problem with doing a stream and a build. I'm just thinking about it as like, I mean, this thing, they normally take a while, but when you do a stream and you do a build, they take so long. I mean, I enjoy it. Like, I enjoy this for sure, but I get sidetracked by the questions, and I'm like, I gotta be building. Did that wire not do what I wanted it to there? Oh, no, it is. Okay, we're good. We're good. Oh, yo, Paul, my buddy. I fly, so, Lewis P. Floyd here in the chat. I fly drones with him with a local group. We fly FPV drones. So, yeah, I crash drones with him. Go check out his channel if you want to see some, like, drone stuff in some areas we fly. There might even be videos of me doing stuff there. I don't know if he has videos of us flying, but yeah. I was inspired by your handwire keyboards. I want to build a dactyl mounting form. I am glad I inspired you to do this because hand-wired boards are just better, in my opinion. Well, arguably not better, but they're more rewarding. That's the word for it. They're more rewarding than a regular PCB board. Like, I've said it before that my Scotto 34 kit, like, I enjoyed figuring that out and making it stuff, but I didn't enjoy building it as much as the hand-wired boards because it kind of felt like, even though I designed everything, it didn't feel like I built it in the end. You know, I had a factory make the PCBs, even though I designed the PCB. It's kind of one of those things, like the craftsmanship I like. But I have a doubt about what does it mean by col row for the diodes. So I get confused on that too. There's col row and then row to col. It's like, I think the one we use is row to col, something like that, where the diode line faces the column. The other one's like the opposite, when it goes like sideways. So there's like two different types, but pretty much just stick to the standard one. You could use that if you flipped up your diodes. I think if you like messed up the orientation of your diodes, you can use that to fix that issue without having to resolder the entire board. Buying keyboard things in Brazil is very expensive. Thank you for teaching me how to make a handwire keyboard. You are my keyboard hero. Yeah, I've heard from a few people. Keyboards in Brazil are expensive. I have heard that. Yeah, that's the other benefit to hand wiring though, is that it's so cheap. Like it really is. I mean, labor-wise, it's not cheap. It takes forever, but in parts, it's basically just parts. You know, that's what you're paying for is parts. So that's always fun. How long that is? Gotta look away when you snap off wires, you know? So snap them in your eyes. Don't want to stab myself with that either. I think we should call him a keyboard cowboy. AliExpress. Yeah, AliExpress is where I get a lot of my stuff. I mean, if you're fine with the shipping, that's the one thing. That's the only reason I don't order stuff from AliExpress sometimes is that, you know, it's 2-3 week shipping, right? It takes forever. Does this song sound Daft Punky to anyone? That sounds like Daft Punk. It's not Daft Punk, but... Oh man, that reminds me of Daft Punk that they split up a few years ago. I love Daft Punk. Is to switch from normal to ortho linear strange? Switching from ortho to staggered and back and forth isn't too terrible. Switching from katana layout is a little bit annoying. That one's hard. But yeah, what are we on now? I think we have our rows wired up. Yeah. Let's bend this wire. This one needs to bend for those. Because, yeah, all right. I'm remembering how I do this. I wire these as columns here. What's katana? So, let's take a look at katana layout here. Where'd my mouse go? I keep my mouse on the other side so I don't burn it with my iron. Because that kind of sketched me out. And I actually have my iron here. I have to make sure I don't burn myself with that. Scotto katana. That is not what I wanted. Those are guitars. So this is the katana layout. So this is the Scotto katana right here. Katana layout is a equal stagger, so both sides are the same. So you can see that this one goes like that one goes like that. This one switching back to ortho is a little confusing. It's even worse when you're switching back from this like a normal like board. It's really rough. So that's katana. But let me bend this. In theory, I could have wired this too as just a direct wired board, but I do it with a column anyway, or the matrix. Can't you wire as a 4x5 and choose 2 less pins in the controller? Do you think it makes it harder to wire this configure? 4x5. I mean, yeah, technically, I guess I could. I could wire it like that. I don't know, I just kind of wire stuff. I don't, like, put much thought into it all the time. I just kind of do it. And kind of when I first made this, I made it this way, and that's kind of where it's stuck. So that's what I'm going to probably do here, because that's also what the firmware's set up for, so I don't have to recompile firmware. I promise you, Paul, I'm going to be out to fly this summer. The cold right now is what's stopping me, even though it's relatively warm where we're at. Relatively. But I can't be flying when it's like 40, 50 out. It's got to be a little warmer. At least a little bit. Alright, I gotta unbend that and rebend it. I'm getting a lot of chats tonight. This is hard to keep up. Don't slow down, but let's try to keep up here. Let's see. Been scratching my neck waiting for the nice view to restock. Would love to finish my Lily 58. Yeah, the nice views are like always out of stock. It's because the panel they use. The panel is I think he said it was a custom order. I think. My dad keeps texting me to show a drone video, and I don't think I have any of my drone videos anywhere. I don't know if I do. I'll have to look after this. I think I have them on Facebook. I might have them on Facebook. I would like to show one, because I removed them all from my channel, because a lot of them use copyright music. So, like, before I got into the keyboard stuff, my channel was very, very drone-oriented. It was all just, like, my stupid drone videos on there. And then I got into keyboard stuff and kind of prioritized the channel. I just removed them all because they had copyright and sound on them. I didn't want to risk getting yeeted off YouTube. All right, that looks good now. So we can flip that. Does it matter which pin we start with while soldering the copper wire to the switches? No, it doesn't really matter. I typically do like this. I do my columns on the left pin, and then my right pin I do for my diodes. Because what I'd like to do here is take my diode, and you can see that it kind of sits in that little gap there. So it can kind of sit, and then it will perfectly route. Whereas if it was on the other pin, it wouldn't route as well there. Like that. So I do it this way. Alright, let's start with our up top row, because this one's the easiest one to do. And our connection looks good now. It was like, YouTube was just being dumb earlier, I think. I don't know why. Someone coiled backwards? No. So I'm trying to use up these diodes that I have, because these are some old ones that I had. Well, not really old, but they were sent to me in a massive bag. They weren't, like, separated, and you can barely see the line on them, so I can't like ship these to anyone. So I can see it, but like other people couldn't, so I'm just kind of like use them up because they're really faint. But I kind of checked them before this. If one's flipped, I'll just have to flip it, but it should be good. Hi Joe, quick question. What would be the best way to straighten 16 gauge wire? You take the wire, like imagine this was it, you put this side in a vise, you put the other side in a drill, and you spin it, and it will straighten it perfectly. That's a tip from when I used to build vape coils way back in the day. way back. Before I decided that vaping was stupid and I didn't want to vape anymore. I used to be big into that shit, though. I used to, like, build coils, and I had a coiling website. Jesus. Wild times. Back in 2015. Spin it in one direction? No, no, don't do it in both directions. I do it in one. I mean, you could uncoil it, technically. I guess you could technically spin it again after you spin the wire. But, one direction's fine. You don't have to, like, triple and double. Do you suggest we build a dactyl manuform as a starting point for hand wiring? If you've never hand wired before, I wouldn't recommend a dactyl. I would recommend one of my boards. Not this one. This one. This is the perfect board, and it has a video to go with it. This video here, which you probably know about. But if you build this board first, it's simple enough. It shows you how the matrix works, and you'll be in a good spot to kind of move on from there. But we'll take those. And I'm starting with this top row here. I always start with this one. It's my zoom work. Oh, look at that. I have a remote. It works. So cool. So I can zoom in. And this top row is always great because you don't have to insulate anything. You kind of just start with it. So we start with this one. Wrap those on. Like I always say, when I do these client builds, I take extra time with these diodes here to wrap them fully around there, which I don't do on my builds, my personal builds, because it's just an extra, like, long step to do. But by doing this, it basically ensures that no matter what, this wire isn't going to have a connection issue with the row. So this is how I'd recommend most people do it on their builds too, unless you're just building something strictly for yourself that you could easily fix in the future. But on any, like, actual client build, I make damn sure these wires are perfect on there. But it's a lot of stabbing yourself with a wire, flipping it up and stuff. What factors do you consider when choosing a microcontroller? Pretty much the pins. That's basically it. You can also consider the flash memory, because that's important. So, like, how much storage it has for your firmware. Like, for example, a Pro Micro only has, I believe it's 32 kilobits or kilobytes of storage, which you can hit memory errors, especially if you're using, like, an OLED. I've done that on a lot. It's the reason why any of my boards with screens on them, the stock firmware doesn't have, like, real OLED code on it, because it just fills up the memory too fast. So the board I recommend, though, is basically any RP2040 board. Anything with an RP2040 is going to have a decent amount of storage, and you're going to be in good shape to basically put any firmware on it. I want to learn to Flipper Zeros work. Flipper Zeros... Oh, wait, that's Paul saying that. I always get your name confused, too, Paul, because you're Lou P. Floyd on here, and in real life I call you Paul. I think on Facebook you're Lou P. Floyd. So I always get it confused. I think it's... Is it Louis Paul Floyd? Is that what it is? That looks good. Let's get this soldered on. Put this over here. How do I know when the diodes could shot out of rows or columns intersection could short out, shot out. I read that as shot out. Basically, you won't know until you have an issue. That's the biggest challenge with hand wiring, is that you don't know when you're going to encounter a short, unless it's, like, very clear that this wire is connected to this, for example, right? Like, if this was connected to this, you could see, or actually, better yet, I could show an example. If I put that on there like that, I know for a fact that every single intersection here is going to short out. But if you heat shrink them and you still have shorts, you can pretty much detect where it is by, like, which row it's, or which column it's on. So that's kind of how you can kind of quickly figure it out. But shorts are just one of the pain points of hand wiring. It's pretty much like a rite of passage that you're going to have boards short out. It's just how it works. Hey, Scotto, is Pi Pico a good starter board for a beginner? Yep, Pi Pico, perfect board you can get. You could also get, there's a bunch of different options. Pretty much just search RP2040 boards and you'll see the options you could use. They all share the same chip. So Pi Pico's good. RP2040. There's Raspberry Pis, or not Raspberry Pis, Arduinos with RP2040 chips now. So they're really good. We're 45 people watching me right now. Damn. 45 people watching me do some super interesting soldering. Oh yeah. The solder joints do be clean though. Not gonna lie. See, I don't know if you can actually see that right there, because let me see if I can punch you in even closer. Watch this right here, because this is really cool. If you see that solder there as I liquefy it, I can kind of pull it where I want with the heat. I think this might be like really illustrative for some people. You can kind of like pull the solder right where you want it to go. So like I'll heat this up here. I'll put some solder on there. Notice how that solder's all over here? Then I can kind of just pull it right over here, and you can see it. Solder flows towards heat. That's basically it. That's the secret to soldering. It flows towards heat. So that's kind of a quick tip. Now I can snap these off. I'm going to use my massive ones. Let me get my smaller ones. Where's my magnet? Got my magnet over here. I'll throw in the ESP32S3, but that's just because I don't really use a Pi Pico. I don't think you could program QMK on ESP boards. So that one I think avoid. I don't think that one works with QMK. Let's check these, make sure they look good. Cool. And also, all right, let's clip this right here. Clip this one right about here. That looks good. I always like to test fit a little bit along the way. Yep, that's going to be good. I'm very, very, very brand new to this hobby. Yeah, that's how it starts. And then soon you will be like the rest of us and have 40 or 50 boards flopping around, and you won't know what to do with them. Kind of like I do right now. I have so many, and I don't know what to do with them. All right, so yeah, let's start with the intersections on here. Let's also bend this one up just slightly. One thing I've never actually noticed between these, because these are Gatoron silky yellows. I don't know if you can see, those pins are like actually pretty substantial there, because I bought a lot of cheaper switches for like my own boards off AliExpress recently. So if you look at this pin here, kind of has like a shape to it, but they don't. They're just kind of flat, like the cheaper AliExpress ones. So I guess there's like different tooling there. But let's take a paint marker. Let that go where I need it to. So we only need to mark off the 4 intersections, because we don't need to insulate that one there. Alright, cool. What do you use those round pliers for? They're like jewelry wires. I used to make chains. I used to have those videos on my stuff too. I used to like go through a jewelry phase, but I had these for that, for like coiling wire. I don't know if I have a wire you can do it with, but you basically take the wire and like wrap it around, and it makes like a little coil. Tubing. So you can see we have those intersections. It's just perfect. And this clear heat shrink, I love it. It's so great. Like you can see through. I used to use the red one. I'd use like black one, but then I found this clear stuff and I was like, this is perfect. I'm not using anything else now. So I just stick with this stuff. I mean, I still have like a massive reel of the black and red heat shrink. That's the same stuff. It still has the glue in it, but I just don't use it. I use this stuff because it works so well. Gotta do that quick so I don't melt my hand. Okay. Actually, I could probably just do it right here because it's a silicone mat. I don't have to worry too much. All right, diodes. Why do you use KMK or QMK over KMK? QMK is the most supported from my experience. It's been around so long. It has so much support. There's so much documentation on it, and it's just kind of what I've stuck with. Like pretty much any board out there is going to be QMK, right? Like unless it's wireless and you're looking at ZMK, KMK is just really new. So learning to solder also taught me to be more committed with my switch choice. Yeah. I don't really like commit to any switches. I pretty much just order switches as I think they look cool for the most part, and then I just build something with them. That's basically my entire thought process for the most part when it comes to a switch. I mean, there are some that, like, don't interest me, but for the most part, like, any switch, I'm just like, that's fine. I've said this a lot about hobbies, too, is most hobbies are just, like, little slight variations of differences on everything. Like, oh, this switch is a little bit more pink than this one's a little lighter, this one's a little heavier. Like, I was talking to my dad about the same thing. He plays guitar, and, like, with guitars and amps and all that stuff, it's like, oh, this one's a little bit higher, this one's a little lower. It's what hobbies are, you know, it's just little differences. It's mostly all the same. Maybe that's a hot take, I don't know. We're up to 51 people. Hello, 51 people. How's it going? Do you know Echo Fairy silent switches? I want to try some silent switches. I know the fairies. I think they just came out, right? I think so. One of my buddies keeps asking me about a silent board. He wants a silent board. So I want to try silent switches, but a big part of this thing is, of course, the sound. Like, that's a big thing with any type of keyboard. So silent switches don't interest me too much. But they interest me enough that I do want to look at them eventually. This goes like that, right? Does that look right? That looks right. One benefit of doing this whole wrapping thing, though, is that it does hold the wire in place pretty well. Because you can see I can kind of tighten that down, and then it, like, just kind of holds it right on that top bump. So you can see it holds the wire on that bump there, which is nice. But Boba U4S have a good feel. I built one board before with Bobas. I think they were U4Ts. But I did like them. They felt good. I guess U4S are the silent ones, right? It's probably silent, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Boba U4T tactile, Boba U4S silent. So, Boba U4 silent. That makes sense. Right, last one over here. So someone was asking, I think it was Vishnu was asking about the intersections, how you know when they short out. You can see here with the heat shrink, it's very clear that these aren't going to short out because you can see that it's like completely covering that wire. And even if this thing slid, like even if this wire slid a little bit, it's still going to be covering that intersection. So it's not going to short out. So that's kind of another thing I do there to make sure that I'm not going to have a short, is I really cover that wire. And the beauty about heat shrink too is that once it starts to heat more, it will shrink more. So once this wire gets hot, it will shrink even more. But also this is that hot glue heat shrink, so it will hot glue it in place too. So it won't even move, which is like really nice. I'm going to clip this before I solder this because I don't want that all the way over. Right there, perfect. Flip this right, dropping my stuff. I guess I'm going to clip that one before because I clipped off the little wire on it. Let's take that off. Perfect, okay. And I do typically start in like the middle of the wire because then it kind of radiates heat outwards. You don't have to, but it is copper. Like, the whole thing will heat up. You can see now how fast that one kind of picked up there. Probably gonna have to clip this one a little bit shorter here because it might interfere with the edge. Does look good. Alright, what are people saying? Banana splits sound nice and all, but they're too loud in workspaces. I love this on the split keyboard. I only buy JWick black linears now. Wade! Hey, how's it going? So... Yeah, JWick black linears are wearing my Lily 58. They're nice. They're okay. I mean, they're probably not my linear of choice, but... Let's click these off. Okay, cool. We have 2 more rows to do. I'm actually gonna have to straighten another wire, I think. Do I have it? Let me see if I have a wire over here. Long enough. This one will work. I keep a bunch of leftover wires on the floor over there. I have a plate with them, so I don't waste copper wire because copper is expensive. So yeah, we can just kind of straighten that out and then use this one here instead of having to grab a different one. Was just stopping by to say what up. Gonna go make dinner. Have a good stream, my dude. Thanks, dude. Enjoy your dinner. It must be early for you, but maybe not. I thought it was later than it was. It's only like almost 9, my time at least. Okay, there is that. Let's get the diodes on here first. Where are you based in the US? Upstate New York. So not the city. Because everyone thinks of New York City when they think of New York, so I have to mention that it's not the city specifically. So if I said I'm from New York, oh, how you like the Big Apple? Actually, that reminds me of like an old memory of mine. When I was moving from Florida to move up to New York, they gave us like, it might have been my book or my brother's, but they gave us like a goodbye book. Like all the students like put this thing together, goodbye, good luck or whatever. And it was like, good luck at the Big Apple. Everyone was like thinking we were going to New York City. Because like no one knows that New York is like an actual state and not just a city. Especially like if you're international. I mean, you might not necessarily know that. I mean, a lot of people don't even know Texas. So... Oh, you're in Georgia. All right. Yeah, EST is the time zone I aim for because obviously that's where I live. I know I have people viewing all over though, so like it doesn't always line up with people. I know it lines up with people in Australia. I know Australians it lines up with because it's like 12 hours ahead, so it's like their morning right now. So like it's perfect. Like if they're like just starting work or something, they can jump into my stream. But if you're in Europe, you're kind of shit out of luck for the streams because it's like 2 a.m. or even later. It's like 3 a.m. there. What am I doing? I'm focusing on talking instead of I have to insulate this. You ever thought about messing around with joysticks on a board? I do want to do joysticks. I haven't done it yet. Eventually though. One day. Like a lot of my things. One day I'll do it. My watch is reminding me to stand because I've been sitting for an hour. I'm not gonna do that. It wants me to stand. I want to. Comfortable. No Apple Watch. So Matthew, you're in Australia. Yeah, see? My people are in Australia right now, I'm telling you. It's where they're at. I actually find it crazy how many like Australians I have that follow me for my stuff. Like it's a lot, like a lot. I mean, I think I get a lot. I have a lot of German followers too. Like I think 20% of my audience is German, but I'm pretty sure that's from the Reddit, the Ergo Mech Keyboards Reddit, because they're like based in Germany. I don't have any hard proof of that, but I'm pretty sure. So 3 a.m. in Finland. Oh, okay, so it's late for you. Everyone in the world at 50 minutes past the hour is getting that notification. Yeah. Yeah, I got a notification like 30 minutes before the stream today. YouTube is weird with pushing these streams too. That's why I like kind of blast them everywhere, because I don't know who's gonna see it. Like I don't know who's gonna see the notification for them, because YouTube is just terrible at like pushing them. So I mean, we got 50 people watching right now, so it obviously did something. Either that's through my Instagram. Where did you guys actually join this from? Where did you guys join the stream from? How hard would it be to add a mouse layer to this board? Not hard. Clark. Yes. So not hard, but it would involve like some combos. So we could add to the ZMK. I could mess with it. I'll get back to you on that when we look at the firmware. But basically, I'm not certain if ZMK has those either. They might not. We'll take a look, but basically just be another layer that you could toggle on, or maybe like a tap dance action where you double tap a key and it does it. We could add the basic clicks of like left, right, middle. You could probably just do down here like middle, left, right, and then we can have like left, right, and everything on the rest of it. Clark told you. Clark's bringing people to my stream. Let's go. So Diego follows me on Instagram. I think I recognize your name, actually. I'm pretty sure I do. Subscription feed, YouTube suggested feed. So that's actually good that YouTube is... Are you subscribed to me, Sam? Or did it just pop up? That's my question. Because if you're not subbed, obviously subscribe. If anyone's here not subscribed, you know, let me do the YouTuber thing. But I'm wondering if YouTube is actually pushing the stream out. Because I've heard that they don't push it either. Like, they won't push it to the subscription feed unless you're subscribed. Does look good. Let me flip this one a little bit shorter. Do the close my eyes and look away while I snap some wire off. Cool. Okay. Vancouver. Is that on east or west of Canada? I think that's Western Canada, right? Right? It's not like... I'm near Toronto. Toronto's like north of me. Come on, get some heat into the wire. Sometimes getting the first diode on is a little bit of a pain too, because it doesn't want to heat up, and then it finally does. There we go, success, but... I'm enjoying this song right here. This one's not bad. Your glass is more likely to take the shrapnel hit, turning your head just exposed. I mean, honestly, that's actually big brain right there. I'm gonna pull up the big brain right here. This, does it work? Yeah. This is factual. I didn't actually think about that. I could probably just have it fling into my eye. That's actually, yeah, good point. I have the squinty goggles though, you know? So I have the squinty goggles where I just squint my eyes and hope for the best. Almost to the wiring stage here, which is good. Have you ever looked into Cirque Glide Point Touchpad? MechWild uses it in 2 of their kits, Sugar Glider and Puck Daddy. Puck Daddy. Why did I read that as Puck Daddy? Alright, hold on. These explanation. Okay. Puck Daddy. Loop Daddy. Does anyone know about Mark Ribliet? That's why I read that as Puck Daddy. Loop Daddy. This guy's shit's so good. I'm not gonna play it on stream, but it's good. So let me switch. Are you into IEMs? I saw them 7 hertz. Yep, these are 7 hertz. I did a few streams with my Blessing 2s. I have a box of IEMs. I have a shit ton of IEMs. I have like a collection of like 20 of them. They're all kind of mid-tier, but what else? Hi Joe, very nice work you're doing. Thank you. I enjoy it, and I'm glad you enjoy it. What am I doing here? I keep getting distracted by chat. Like I'll go to chat and then I'll be like, what am I doing here? And then I realized that, oh, I need to put diodes on this to actually continue this build. I can't just solder stuff to it. But we're getting close to the wiring stage here, which will be pretty fun because then we can start hooking up the wireless stuff. Which reminds me, Clark, for the wireless stuff on this, it's pretty simple, but the layer is a little confusing because you like don't have any indicators of what profile you're on, right? So you'll probably have to look at the key map for that part, which is a printout. I'll send you the printout of it. It's also on my website of like where all this stuff is. But it can be a little annoying trying to like switch between computers because you have to like hold 3 keys and then select it. It's like, I think it's the middle 3. I'll look, but it's the middle 3 and then it's like 1 through 5 gives you your profiles. So this shows or something else. Yeah, Mark Ribliet, dude's a fucking menace. Oh my god. Incredible. Like, honestly incredible. But because I've been watching so much Mark Ribliet, I'm like, I read Puck, what was it? Puck Buddy is Puck Daddy because of Loop Daddy. I find that funny. Come on, Dad, get on there. There we go. I still find it crazy to believe that I can have 40, 50 people watching me just solder. Like, it's just crazy. The Keeb community is good. I love the Keeb community. Cool, those look good. Let's take this. We have to intersection mark it. Right about there. Is it possible to mount the LED light on these hand-wired builds? Oh, yeah, you can do LEDs and stuff. I just don't typically mess with them. I do have... I've showed this a few times, but I have this test thing over here. I'm going to try to not blind myself. I'll plug this in. Let's see if I can plug this in without blowing up my eyesight. Look away. So I have this. See, that's cool. So that's a build coming up eventually. The problem with LEDs, though, it comes to power. Like you're limited on power and stuff, and there's restrictions there, basically, that you have to keep in mind. I might not even have to. I do want to run that like that, right? I might actually want that one on that. I'm gonna switch this one. I don't want that there. There we go, that looks good. Okay. Along with the jazz, it's super chill in the background while working. Yeah, a lot of people do work on their own boards while watching my streams. I know that. So it's like we're kind of all a community of building boards right now, which is awesome. Which reminds me, if you're not on my Discord, join my Discord and share what you're working on. Actually, wait, that gives me an idea, that interesting part of the stream we could do right now. If you are working on a board, post it in work in progress or something on my Discord, and then maybe I'll take a look at them on here. But I do have a priority for the stream. It's to get Clark's board done. So I do have to do that. Intersection here. Intersection here. Intersection there. Perfect. I just realized I'm going to have to wiggle these on too. It's going to be annoying. Okay, it's not actually that bad. Perfect. That was not terrible. On something like a column staggered board, this would be very annoying, but on this, it's not too bad. Unless I spoke too soon there. Did I speak too soon? Please don't tell me I spoke too soon. No, we're good. We're good. That goes right on. Perfect. Do you have a video about adding LEDs? I will once I get that video out. I actually thought about doing just a dedicated video to show how to set up one of these, because if you look here, it's just 3 wires. It's literally 3 wires. Ignore this one. It's a ground, a ground, a voltage, and then a data wire. So they're very simple, but it's actually set up as a matrix. So like a QMK LED matrix, even though it's a strip, because otherwise you don't get all the like functions of an LED. So you have to set up as a matrix. And I might just do a dedicated video showing how that works, because it's pretty simple. And it would be kind of like a quick video to make, but that will come around the time that I actually create a board with the whole LED strip, which will look really cool. That one's a little too far over. Is that too far? Are we good? There we go. Perfect. I saw in your videos you program in QMK, but you have an Arduino IDE sketch too. I'm new to Arduino and want to get my buttons working. I searched for button matrix and found you on YouTube. No, I don't mess with the Arduino IDE. I just use QMK. And my recommendation is, I mean, if you're making something with an Arduino, then yeah, you'd probably have to use your Arduino IDE. But if you're making a keypad, just use QMK. It just works. Like, you don't have to kind of figure stuff out. Right, this one's always a pain to get these on because I have to get them so it doesn't move. Also route them. There we go. Creatures are fighting me here. Fighting me. Get that over there. I want to go there. There. Perfect. Tighten right down. Let's go. Does it mean if you wanted to add per key addressable LED lights that you're almost in need of an entire second board? No, you could. So basically, the way that this LED works, the way... Where's my button on my remote? Switch out there. So the way this LED works is that they're chained. So this LED will feed this. It's basically just a chain. So you're creating a matrix. So if you put it like this, you define the positions of the pins, and you'd have another wire for like another LED, another one that goes down, and they'd all be connected through like one wire, basically. They'd have like the voltage ones and the data and stuff. But then it can kind of run the whole thing. It's confusing to explain right now. I'll explain it more when I do a video on it, but you don't need multiple controllers. There are voltage issues. That's one thing you have to keep in mind, is that you could overvolt the controller and it won't boot. But that's very, very hard to happen, from my findings at least. Where can I buy that transparent heat shrink? Did not find it on Amazon. AliExpress or my website. I sell it in little packs on there too. It says on there that it's the red and black one, because I have stock of that too. But if you just put a note in there, I'll send you some clear stuff. Because that's what I'm stocking at this point, is the clear stuff. Because the red and black one is just not as easy to work with. I mean, it works the same. It's just not... You can't see your stuff, so it's annoying. This music is very 80s sounding. Alright, I think those are all odd there. Looking good. Make sure intersections are good. Cool. I'll also clip these once we get there. Let me zoom us in a little bit more. I love that I have a remote here now. This is so nice. So to hear this right, earlier in the stream you might be local to Ontario. Ontario? I'm in upstate New York. I'm like 5 hours from Toronto. So like about 5 hours from there. That looks good. I don't know like where stuff is in Canada. I guess it's the same thing. Like I said earlier that people don't know where like American cities are and stuff, but it's the same thing with me. Like I don't know where Canadian cities are, other than Toronto's like north of me. Well, northwest to me. All right, that looks pretty good. Got a matrix now. Intersections look good. Cool. Let me clean up my mess here, and then we can start wiring this up, get some firmware on it. We might take a look tonight, or I'll just do that off stream and talk with Clark about getting the key layer. I'll probably actually do that off stream because I can't compile ZMK on this machine down here. I have it all set up to compile on my computer upstairs, but not on my Windows computer, not on my streaming PC. Because ZMK is a pain in the ass to set up with local compilation. Oh my god, it is. I mean, it's not a pain. It's just that the documentation isn't the greatest for it, so it's not all there to tell you how to do it. Basically, put that back in there. The trash can around here. ZMK looks great for letting GitHub do the work. Yeah, it works good. I mean, you can do that. You can use the GitHub Actions, but the problem with that is that if you upload your code to GitHub Actions, it does work. It will compile your stuff, but it takes like 4 or 5 minutes. Like 2 to 5 minutes is what it takes to compile, and it's a pain. So when you're like trying to rapidly develop something and not just make like a key map change, it's a little bit of a long process. So I have it set up locally on my computer upstairs, and my watch is going crazy with the stand notification again. Handwire boards definitely are more rewarding. Yeah, like it's great. So we have our nice Nano here. We have our case. Let's see if this fits in there. All right, cool. So that fits. Fits on the ledge. I like the black and yellow, actually. I'm glad I chose these switches. But, yeah. So that's that. We have our controller, which will sit in here. Make sure. So it'll sit in there. And Clark, if you're still here, this will also be able to be used as a wired board. So you'll be able to plug that in and it will work as a wired board. But I am slapping this 750 mAh battery in there. This is the one I get from Typeractive, but it's very big. So this will last like probably 6 to 8 months, roughly, depending on usage and stuff. But that should work. We'll take this out and let's look at our schematic here. So we have this, we have it here. Shit, I labeled them this way. I labeled them with the Pro Micro naming. Which what I can do. Not burn myself on my iron. Let me put that over here so I don't do that. Let's search up. I don't think it tells you which ones they are. Yeah, it tells you in this format. Shit. Oh no, it does right here. Okay, we're good. We're good. I'll pull this up here. All right, yeah. So let's start with our rows, which we will do in red wire. Red for row. Switch that over here. All right. Also put this somewhere so I don't burn it by mistake. Actually, no, I do need that. I need that over here. I'm going to make us a little bit wider so we can see. Is the pin IDs the same as in the Nice Nano as there are in QMK? In ZMK, you basically define them as the pin number. So it's the pin number. It's, let me look if I have the firmware here. Overlay. Let me open this with. Oh, let me just pop in here. Let's not access. Shit, is this not gonna let me access my WSL install? No, don't do that. Let's do that. I have this set up on WSL, which is Linux, so it like sometimes can't access stuff. But yeah, so they're just like this in here. They're just a number. But switch back. Did that switch us? Switch us. There we go. open my stuff on here so I can see. So the pinout, I think what you're asking too is if the Nice Nano is the same as the Pro Micro. They're identical. So the pins are identical, other than the Nice Nano having these extra 3 pins here, which are extra GPIO. It's all the same. So like you can interchange them with it and it should work. Which is always nice. So PJ, I can access the files. I'm using WSL, and it has issues sometimes accessing cross files, which is weird. So like I had my files there, they were loaded up, it just wouldn't load in VS Code. It was just having an issue because it was on my Linux subsystem, which is dumb. All right. I want to kind of route these. Let's see how we want to route these, because it's going to sit like this. This will sit like that. Just route them through the middle. Why do you choose an ortholinear layout? What advantage does it have over staggered layout? Your fingers move like this, not like that. That's kind of the biggest theory, if that makes sense. They move vertically. So I've just kind of gotten really comfortable with ortho, and I've stuck with it. That's basically the entire thought process behind it, is I just enjoy ortho. Actually, you know what I'm going to do with this? I'm going to route this to the other side. So they all need to go over there. This might actually be better if I pull this off. Pull that off, and we'll put that on the other side. That's right? Yeah, 15, 14, 16, 10. Yeah. There. Yeah. Actually, no, that's not the best spot. We'll go here. Also get these pre-tinned, so we have 15, 14, 16, and 10, right? Yes. I am doing this hotter than I normally would do a Nice Nano, but I'm being fast, so I won't burn out the chip. That's about right. In this wire. I am going to lower this temperature because I really don't want to burn out a Nice Nano today. I don't feel like melting it. So for those of you who don't know, you want to do a Nice Nano around like 270 to 290-ish instead of really hot, because you can damage the chip. So What's your standard debounce strategy? I let QMK handle that, and don't worry about it. That's the entire strategy. Where's my... I had to reseat that wire just so there's more in there. Now that I have that, I can actually kind of route the rest of them without really using the board as a template. This is like some futuristic jazz. Techno jazz. We need a QMK deep dive for those who want to design their own board from scratch. So I'm working on that currently. I don't have any like set dates. I want to kind of get some builds out first, but I'm doing a video where I'm going to cover Linux, Mac, and Windows. So how to get it set up, like basically no matter what. How does the LiPo attach? Is charging on board the Nice Nano? So yeah, the Nice Nano has a charging current or a charging circuit in it. And then the Nice Nano, I'm going to use a JST connector, but it will connect to the voltage and the ground pins right up here. So there's 2 pins, I'll just connect that to, and that will handle it. After I get these rows done, I'm going to run upstairs and get a snack, because I'm hungry. Snack time. And we've been streaming for an hour and 20 minutes. Let's go this way. What's the drink of choice this time? It is some lemon polar. Wait. Lemon polar seltzer. At the beginning of the stream, we attempted opening it without it exploding and succeeded. Because I typically like to explode those seltzer waters. Earlier today, I had some of that Fuji apple water. But I drank all 3 of those, and we got them yesterday. So, yeah. That's how that went. I added a picture of a couple of boards I just finished in the work in progress section of the Discord group. I will take a look after these rows and before snack time. So I will get the rows done, take a look, and then we will commence snack time where I'll run upstairs for 3 minutes to get a bite to eat really quick and then run back down. And these solder joints are looking so good. I'm happy with these. I always hate the wires, though, because, like... I mean, I don't hate the wires, but it's really hard to get the wires short enough, right? Like, to not... So when you put it in the case, they have to kind of flip over. Finish some wrist rests for this board as well. We'll post a pic soon. Resin wrist rests, by chance? Because I've wanted to try this for a long time. Sometimes those wires are so hard to get off when they're like right in there. This one's easier to route because it's so short too. Perfect. What wire are we using? This is that really nice flexible silicone wire. Which if anyone is watching, this isn't the same stuff on my website. So if you buy that, this isn't that wire. This is special wire. I linked it in a lot of my videos though. It's on Amazon. It's really good stuff. You get like a 6-pack of wire. I think it's like 20 bucks or something, but it's good. It's very good. And then the columns, of course, are 16 gauge. So all this is 16 gauge on there. Beautiful. All right, so what I want to do is I want to take a look at what... Who said that? Yeah. John said. Let's see what we got in here. Let's see what you're working on. Oh, shit. Let's go. That looks like... Is that a modified Scotto fly? No, I don't think that is. That's big, though. Oh, you got LEDs in there. Well, there's a Scotto fly, so I see the influence there. I see what you're doing. Cool. Those are bigger, like, right down there. Those are actually... Put in browser. Put the bigger keys here. I'm assuming that's your spacebar, because they're tiny on the original Scotto fly, so that's probably your spacebar. That's cool. I like it. Awesome. So, what I want to do right now is I am going to... Not burn myself on this iron sitting right there, first of all. I'm going to take a 3 to 4 minute break, maybe 2 minutes. We'll see. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna grab a snack really quick, and I'll be back. So I don't want the viewers to drop. If it drops, no more handwire boards for any of you. No more. I will give up handwire boards. So I expect it to be higher when I'm back. I'll be back in like 2 or 3 minutes. Alright, we're back. We're back. I'm reading these comments before I get in here, so... I see your comment, Ethan. Is it factual? Let's go. Linears or tactiles? Linears. But, I will say, tactiles are better if you want sound. So tactiles sound better. But where are we in this build now? Just got off snack time, so I had to kind of recollect myself. I am also realizing, too, that I ate a snack with my hands without washing them, and I've been using lead solder. Oh, no. Oh, boy. I'm gonna end up dead from the lead. That's, I'm being an asshole for the people that have told me lead solder is bad. So, joke there. So, let's grab some blue wire for our columns, and we will start wiring these up. So this is 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4. So we have on here. Shit, these are labeled. That's gonna be fun. I think I wired this in reverse too. Now I think about it, actually. 10. 10 is down here. Yeah, I wired this in reverse. I have to flip this. These are flipped. I have to flip those to the other way. Let me punch us in here. So I basically have to move this one up. Classic hand wiring move. Okay. There's the second one. So that is 15. Yes, 15. And we have 14. There's 14. Then we have 16 and 10, right? Yeah, 14, 16, 10. No, that's not it. This one's it. So that's another common issue with these is hand wire boards, is that you'll mix up where your stuff is supposed to go and then you'll catch it after you solder it all together and you have to flip everything. This is also moving around too much, so I need to hold it in place. This wire is being annoying. Go there. Cool. It's not heating up. There we go. All right, those are fixed now. Cool. All right, let's move on to the columns. Wick is nice, but no sense in slurping up gallons of solder if you got a sucker. So there is one thing though with a sucker, is that you might want to add more solder to suck up the solder. It just kind of makes it grip a little bit better. That's one thing. So let's see what we have, though, on this matrix. We have 3. So which one is 3? Is that D3? Is it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Oh, no. It's okay, so never mind. It's just straight down. Perfect. So we start at the bottom. Three. Should go up to 7. 6, and then we have the final one here. Perfect. KaiCat is going to be the death of me. What issue are you having with KaiCat? Or KiCad. KiCad, KiCad, KiCad. Everyone always tells me I say it wrong, but then some people say I say it right. Alright. 3. Alright. Put a piece of wire. We're gonna put wire. Need to coil this to get around that switch good, so I'm just gonna use a piece of wire for it. I would use my diode coiling tool, but for this part it's actually easier to just use wire. Can you add LED underglow to the project? I need a tutorial. I responded to someone earlier on that. I have a build coming up with that eventually. I have like a whole RGB strip thing, and then I'm also going to do a tutorial on RGB and Cube K. Alright. Where'd my wire go? There it is. Right, pop that onto this pin here. Now, there are arguably better ways I could have done this matrix on this board, but what I have here is, it just works, so I just go with it. Which I could have actually direct wired everything, but there'd be like 21 wire or 20 wires in here, and I don't want that, so direct wiring is not the best option here, although it is possible with the nice Nano because it has 21 GPIO. So going to pull this and kind of rotate this one. Oh, I didn't. Shit. I should have done that, actually. Now I have to rebend this, otherwise it's not coiled the right way. Should have just got it to sit right. What sucker do you recommend? I use a generic plastic one, and it makes me cry every time, and I have the disgrace of using it. So... yes, the plastic ones suck. This one. This is the one that I use. It is the Engineer Solder Sucker. So, it's good. But I could actually, here, I'll just link you it. I'll link it with my affiliate link, you know? I'll hit you up with that affiliate link. So that you don't get, because there's a lot that are similar to this one too. But they're not the same one. And I could actually test if my thing works with chat. I say my thing, but you don't know what I'm referring to there. I want to see if I can chat through OBS. Because I don't know if it works. Let's see. Will this work? This should work. So that's the sucker I used. Did that work? Did that link you? That's the exact one that I use, and it works good. And this tip you can, like, remove and stuff. So you can, like, change it, but... yeah. What keys are we using? These are Gatoron Silky, or Gatoron Milky Yellows, not Silky Yellows. I was thinking of the novel key ones that you can't get anymore. Cool. My link actually worked through my OBS linker thing. Well, it's not a linker thing, but it like allows me to chat through OBS, which is nice. I have to redo this one because I decided to just pull it off. Now we can put this back. Alright, that can go there. We can route this underneath. Thanks. I have a new build that's using baby kangaroos, and I love them. Baby kangaroo switches. Link me. Link me those switches. I want to see. Just go mid. What's a single-handed keyboard, by the way? It is a keyboard for one hand. I mean, it's a layout where you can use it on one hand, basically. Like, that's all it is. That's it. So, like, nothing complicated. there's a lot of like combos and stuff, so you have to like basically chord keys, so you have to like press spacebar and this at the same time, this at the same time. But it's just for single-handed use set for people that want to use a single keyboard, maybe a mouse in one hand, a keyboard in the other, or if you have like a disability where you can't use both hands, or typically like ambidextrous, so you could use this on right or left. They're not practical, I would say, for like, well, I guess they are practical. Clark kind of said that they're up to like 70 words per minute on it, so I guess they are practical if you actually use them, but they're not my cup of tea. Let's put it that way. I use my version of the Scotto Frog. I use it as a gaming pad. I don't use it as a single-handed keyboard. And once I do get the firmware on this, you'll see I type like 4 words per minute, 6 words per minute. So I don't actually type at one, but I have it set up as one because this board was actually originally designed as a commission where someone custom ordered one for me. They literally had me design it for them, and then it kind of went from there. But I want to give out my beginner macro pads to friends as I practice. Is there a way they can program the macros easily when they receive them? Yeah, set up Vial firmware. I have a video on my channel on how to set up Vial, and then they'll be able to basically do anything they want with them with a simple program. And if you coded QMK on them, you're pretty much 90% of the way there. You just have to enable Vial. Alright, there's that first one. Does that look good? That looks good. Where'd my wire go? There's my wire. Vial rocks? Yeah, Vial is the greatest. I love Vial. I hate VIA. I have a complete hatred towards VIA because it's just such a pain in the ass. Like, you can't just set it up on the repo, at least. I mean, you can set it up, but you also can't get it to auto-detect. That's the other thing with it, is that if you want the VIA application to auto-detect your board, you need to go through the process of getting your board on the VIA repo, and that's just like an extra step, and it's just a pain in the ass. Where with Vial, it stores the configuration right on the board, so you just load it up and it works. What gauge wire do you use to connect to the Pro Micro? Is it single core or multi-core? So this is... I can link this stuff too. I can just link exactly what it is. You know, get my affiliate commission off of it, but like straight up, this is the wire I use. Because a bunch of people have asked about this stuff too, and it's stranded. It's stranded 28 gauge, right? Is this it? Yeah, this is it. It's a stranded 28 gauge wire, and it's also silicone housed. So it's silicone housing on this wire too, which means it's really flexible and like heat resistant. But I've been using it for like 6 months now, and it's just better than Ethernet cable. But it's obviously more expensive per foot than Ethernet cable. So if you want cheap Ethernet cable, if you want really good silicone wire. That is completely shorting on that pin right there, so I need to clip that off. Oh, that was not actually. Does Vial work for wireless splits too? Vial does not work for wireless ports, no. It's QMK. 20, I used 30 and thought it was a bit thin. Yeah, 30 is a little bit thin, maybe. I mean, maybe not, though. Like, it depends on how rough you are when wiring, too, right? Like, if you're not rough when wiring, especially with the silicone housing, like, if the wire is... Because you can see, if I hold this wire up here, let me, zoom us in really close here. So if I show you this here, you can see that there's, like, this super thick layer of silicone on this. So, like, the wire is super small in there, but the silicone on it is really, really big. So it kind of, like, helps. It helps a lot there. So you can be a little bit rough with it without completely destroying everything. That there, though, might be a little bit too small. Let's see. Nope. And, I mean, you don't need, like, a ton of wire to connect stuff either. It just needs to get connected. That one, though, I don't really like. That one's kind of really thin. I don't feel too confident with that. Mainly because this is a client build. And if this is my own build, I just wing it on that, but on these builds, I don't do that. It's not easy to get them fixed if you need to have them repaired. It's not like Clark's just gonna pop it open. I don't assume, at least. So I make sure everything is pretty much perfect and ready to go. Way better. That one actually seated in there perfect. I made a 668 hand wired about 6 days ago. It's pretty great. Cheap Holy Panda switch clones. Holy Panda clones are really good. Now, I talk all the time on my Discord about clones, right? The Clone Nice Nanos. And the reason I avoid Clone Nice Nanos is because it's just someone like me that basically created a board. They have a little shop, and I mean, maybe Typeractive isn't that little, but you know, they're just someone out there making their stuff, and their design kind of got ripped off by China, and then they're selling the Clone Nice Nano. So it's not like, if you're buying a Clone Nice Nano, you're kind of hurting directly just a smaller person working on this stuff. But I don't really mind clones of switches and stuff. I don't mind those too much typically because they're bigger factories doing this. It's not little tiny companies a lot of the time. I guess there are technically little people making switches too, but they're bigger is what I'm getting at here. So Clone Nice Nano's bad, Clone Switch is acceptable, Clone Keycaps typically acceptable under some circumstances. Depends, it all depends on context, right? But yeah. Scotto next. How's it going? What's up? Have you tried making an analog keyboard before? Technically this is analog, right? This is analog. Take this on here. I always lose stuff. Whenever I'm doing these builds, I always lose stuff, like, everywhere. I'm just like, hold up. Where's my stuff? There is it. These tweezers actually suck right now. I need to get my pointier ones. Could you link the soldering iron? Have been trying to find a new one. Go in the description of this stream and you will find the link to the TS100. It will probably say the TS101, which is the newer version. It's basically the exact same. It has actually better ergonomics, so I eventually will upgrade mine. I just haven't had a reason to yet. I've had it for probably 2 years now, actually. I got this iron when I started flying my drones because it's so compact, it runs off a battery. So that's why I got it, and I don't have like a full thing, but I like the iron so much that I use it as a desk iron. Love your videos. I built my Corn wireless watch ears and hope to do one of your customs next. Yeah, that's how a lot of people find my stuff, is through the Corn video, which is popping off. So do a handwired board. I guarantee you it will be way more rewarding than a PCB board because you build it fully yourself. Like, fully yourself. You're responsible for literally everything with these boards. Native USB-C PD and $35 Pine Sill. Yeah, the Pine Sill, I just haven't gotten one yet. I looked at them. I looked at some other options too, because it's kind of just like, you know how it goes. You go on Amazon and you start like looking up stuff, right? Like you start just searching stuff on Amazon. And I was looking at irons on there that they had. They had some similar ones that were like 40 bucks that were like a clear housing, but I didn't get any of them because they had like really obnoxious LEDs that never turned off. So I was like, no. But other than that, the irons actually looked really cool. So there's a lot of options now in the iron world, at least. So like the Pine Sill and the TS100/101 are kind of the standards right now for small battery powered irons. There aren't many differences between 3-pin and 5-pins, right? No, there's no real differences other than it depends on your PCB. If your PCB is set up for 3-pin, 5-pin won't work with it. So it's basically these extra pins there, which you could just clip off. So what do I need to do here? Oh, for sure. The great thing is you release your detailed repos so we can make tweaks to it. To not have Comic Sans fonts. Well, you're going to be disappointed. We're putting Comic Sans on here. So, you know. And also, part of the Comic Sans is that it is copyright free. Well, not technically copyright free, but you're allowed to use it for my research. So it's not like going to get me in trouble. But also, Comic Sans prints really well because it's so rounded, which there is an argument I could use a rounded font, right? And that would print well too, but I don't know. I like the Comic Sans, so I kind of stuck with it. I think it's funny, and it's like some slight engagement bait too. Is like everyone always comments on, "Hey, you're using Comic Sans. I hate that," and it gets me some engagement because I'm using Comic Sans. And the joke's on them because I actually do enjoy Comic Sans, so it's a win-win. I'm gonna head off. It's 3 a.m. and I have a test in analog electronics tomorrow. Well, good luck on your test and get some sleep. 3 a.m. is late, especially if you have a test. Hopefully it's not early. Okay, that's looking good. It's first thing. We're talking like 9 a.m. I don't want to keep you because if it's early, but if it's early and it's 3 a.m., oh boy, I need some caffeine. I have a test like 4 hours from now. Rip. Rip. I mean, there's two types of people. Either people that woke up really early and have a test in 4 hours, or people that are going to bed and have a test in 4 hours. There's no in between. 9:30. Alright, yep. Go to sleep, get your 5.5 to 6 hours maybe, and good luck on the test. Is that an aperture wristband? Yes. I've worn this for like years. I also had one that was like a 70 to 200 at one time, but I didn't wear that one too much because I don't shoot a 70 to 200 often. Those look good. Or wire. Where's my tweezer? Where's my tweezer? Oh, wait, I want to go the other way that way. I have to leave the house at 8 a.m. so I wake up at 7:30. Oh boy. That's we're looking at maybe 4 hours. You got this. Just chug some coffee when you wake up and you will be fine. Might make you even perform better on the test, you know, if you just chug a shit ton of caffeine, get your brain pumping, and you'll be good. Good to go. Diodes and rectification. Well, good luck and good night. And then come back and explain it to me. Nope. I'm glad it helped, but you need to get sleep, so I'm kicking you off, kicking you out. Go sleep. Gotta start banning people when they're trying to be on my stream, but they have an important test in the morning. It's 3 a.m. I'm not gonna actually ban you, but you know, get some sleep. All right. 1, 2, 3. We're getting close to having a functional board here. What I could actually do right now, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get the firmware on this. So this is what's super easy with the nice nanos. So we can pop this open. We can go to our, I can actually show the overhead so you can see what I'm doing. We have our firmware folder. We have our Scotto Frog UF2. This is the key map here. So, little confusing. But we should be able to plug this in. So simply plug the nice nano in. Get an LED on it. It should detect. Perfect. And all we do is we drag and drop the Scotto... Well, actually, I'm going to copy this because this is that Linux thing, so I don't want to risk it not copying. But then all you do is just drop it on the nice nano. Please work. Come on, work, work. Let's go. Let's go. And it did the thing that I didn't want it to do, but did it work? It worked. So it doesn't even matter. Windows is dumb. But we have a functional board now, so everything is typing. Well, not everything. I still have to wire up some columns, but it is working at least, so I can start testing it, which is good. I'll slowly get this out of here because these USB cables are so stiff. But also the nice thing is pretty stiff when you first get it. Why is aligning components in KiCad so bad? I'm losing it. It is a pain, but once you learn how to use it, the align with reference and the reference point tool are very important. So I'm assuming you watched my video. Those two tools will make a world of difference in wiring everything up. That one, we have 2 more to do. I just saw the slash ban gamma leash sleep. I cannot get the reference point tool to work. Your video says to press the S key, but nothing happens. So there's 2 tools. S will set the reference point. And then you have the align with reference. So, and you do have to be in the PCB editor. But it could be that that might not be the hotkey for you. Possibly. I doubt it, because that's like the default. Unless you mess with it, it should be, but... If you right-click, you can see the move options, too, which will show you more. Having this tack on this thing here is pretty hard to, like, move it where I want it to. Okay, there's that. What is the delay like for handwired keyboards like this one for competitive gaming? If it's wired, it's no different than any other keyboard. Wireless on this one is, I think it's like 30 to 40 milliseconds, so it's not good for gaming wirelessly. But wired is just like any other keyboard, so you don't really have to worry about the input delay. It's not really an issue at all. I game with my own Scotto Frog, so I use it wired, of course, but that's what I game with, because I don't have a keyboard set up to game with. Right, last wire, and then we will have a fully completed board. So next, explain polling rate to me. I never, like, researched that or figured out what it means. What does that mean? I mean, I know 1,000 hertz is 1,000 times a second, but I guess is that just how quickly or how soon the board's listening for an input? Is that what it is? And I think 1,000 is the default, I think. In QMK, at least. It's just the rate at which the loop run. Yeah, so it's how often the board is listening for an input. Okay. So yeah, I guess faster is better. Right, this is looking good. Faster means more CPU usage and power, so it's just a trade-off. Yeah, I did know that about it, because I remember from my mouse, my Logitech mouse, it had something with polling rate in there, and people were complaining that if it was on the higher polling rate, it pulled too much power, or too much CPU. Higher hertz would make the battery drain faster. Yeah, I guess if the keyboard's doing that, yeah, it definitely would drain more battery. I think, probably. I might actually be bullshitting there. I might not actually know, but I would assume. I mean, it would make sense if the board's listening for commands more often, it's pushing the CPU harder. So. Come on, get under there. Go. All right, last cable to connect. Then we have a completed board, other than the case. You have to put it in the case, but. And the battery, actually, that's the other thing I forgot. We do have to connect the battery, but that's pretty simple. We're just going to take this here, and I do have to make sure that I get the proper pins for this, which is battery plus... Okay, so it's simple. It's just right here. Now, do I want this super long? We can start off with being long. That's fine. So this is really nice. By putting a JST connector on there, as a JST connector, we'll be able to replace the battery if it ever burns out, which is unlikely to happen, but it will degrade over time because it is a battery. That's just natural with them. So eventually it will need to be replaced. But that's so far down the line that it's not really an issue. And it's such a big battery that, like, the charge will stay. So, battery plus, yes. So, like, even if the battery degrades in a year or two, it's an 8 or 750 mAh. It will probably only act like a 600 at that point. So you're not going to be looking at, like, massive degradation. I'll make this shorter. Have you ever done a hand-wired hot swap build? Is that even possible? Yeah, in my Discord, some people have done it. It's also, like, online. You can find it, too. It is possible. I just haven't done it. Alright, these wires are in my way right there. I can pull them out of the way like that. What is that? Oh my god, this is, like, such an awkward position to get these on here. This might actually work like this. There we go. Okay, those look like they're on there. Then flatten them down a little bit. Perfect. All right. If I want to build a Scotto frog but hate stabilize, should I reduce 2U keys to 1.75 or 1.5? 1.75 would work, so would 1.5. But you'd have to do something about, like, the sizing here to make sure that they fit right. But we can take this now. That should sit right in there. Perfect. I also want this to run below them. Right, let me inspect this to make sure we're all good. Everything looks pretty good on there. I think we're good to UV resin this in, just so it's ready to go. So I use this now to put my controllers in. It just looks better. So I'll put that in there. I'm going to actually, I want to raise this up a little bit just so it's not kind of flopping there. So I'll put that. And then also a UV light. I also want to avoid getting this on my hand. I'm looking at the the resin on the screen over there because I don't want to look at the UV light because it's not good for your eyes. Also should technically be wearing gloves for this, but that's fine. Okay, so that's now holding in there, which is good. And fully solidify this now, though, with a little bit more over here. UV resin can allegedly not be horrible sometimes. Yeah, sure. It's a pain in the ass, UV resin. I should be wearing gloves right now. I should technically be wearing a respirator, but this resin I found too. It doesn't smell too bad, so I'm actually okay with it right now. But there are technically fumes coming off, and look at that. You can see the flux there glowing, which is kind of cool. So, is UV resin secure? Yeah, this will hold it in here. This is going to turn into, that's like solid. It's a little squishy because it's hot right now, but yeah, it's solid. All right, so we have a functioning board. Now, the battery will just kind of connect to that in a second, but I wanted to make sure that this is fully working, so I'm going to just plug it in. Probably should have done that before I put the resin on it, but I know that it's pretty okay. So put that, take a plug here to plug it in, and let's make sure that this matches our key map. So I'll switch over, actually switch to this one. So what we can do here, let's go back to Scotto keys, Scotto frog. So it should match this. So if we pull this up, now let's hope I got my columns and rows right. So this should be F. All right, good. A, R, W, P. Then we have O, E, H, T, D, U, I, N, S, Y. And how do I... So this is the thing. You have to, like... So to use this, you kind of hold it like this, and I think... It's like this one? No, that's delete. So wait, why did it delete? Hold on. I have no idea how it works. Did I enable one of my other layers on it? This is so hard to use this thing. I don't know how this guy's going to use it. Clark, if you're here, I applaud you with being able to use this thing. Alright, so that's that. I think what we have to press is... Where's my backspace? Where's backspace? This and this is backspace? No. No, now I'm in the arrow layer? Hold on. Hold on, what am I doing? Oh, wait, yeah, that's right. This is a toggle layer. So you can press this and then you get into the different layer, I think. So we're on the main layer. Hang on. Brain thinking. So we're on the main layer. If you hold this... No. So if you combo that. So if you combo these... Now we're getting this secondary layer, so you can see that when I combo with this space key, we're getting these here. So we're getting this, we're getting that. So that, yeah, that's doing that. And then if we combo with this one, then we get yeah, so then if we combo, okay, there it is. So if you combo with this one, then you get delete. So you kind of do a lot of combos and stuff, right? Now, the next layer is we have to switch to the number layer. So now if we switch to number, these are arrow keys. Where are my arrow keys? Is that because it's a numpad? Hold on, wait. This might be a numpad. I might have to change that. But what layer are we in? That's doing that. Okay, yeah. So these are acting as a numpad. We need to turn on we have to enable those as just number layers. So I'll have to change it in the firmware. That's not a big deal. But now we should be back on the main one. So that's good. Symbol layer. So we can switch to symbol. So now these will all be symbols. So yeah, we can see our symbols. Those are working as expected. Where's at, though? Where even am I? Oh, no, at right there. Okay. It's really confusing. So this layout is, like, super confusing because you have to, like, combo like these and this, and you're on like different layers and stuff, and like it's laid out on like the real frog pad layout, but for like me that doesn't know how the frog pad works, it's kind of confusing. So we have our locking layer. This one's kind of cool that I added. So this layer here, if you press all three of these at the same time, what it will do is if I switch here, so I'll press these, now the board won't do any input, so you can see that nothing is typing on here. And then if I press them again, we'll be able to type again. And the reason for that is that this has no battery switch, so we can lock it to make it so it just doesn't basically type anything in your backpack. Now, you could put a battery switch on it, but I just use ZMK Deep Sleep, so the board will just go to sleep after 30 minutes, which can also be disabled too, but that's that. Everything is on it. Do I have a bootloader mode? Okay, so I do. So if I hold these three, I get into my function layer. I just want to make sure that I can do this before I seal it up. So I can hold these, and I can press this, and this should pop up. Okay, so we have that. That's working. And then finally in here, the last thing I want to test to make sure, just plug this back in. We'll just get power through USB. I want to go to... I'm going to go here, and I want to get to my Bluetooth settings. Add device, Bluetooth. This should show up as Scotto Frog. Okay, so we do have that. I'm not going to pair it over Bluetooth yet because I don't want to like mess with the profiles on there. But everything's working on it. So we do have a working board. Let's pop back out here and let's seal this up, get the battery installed so we have that on there also. So we'll take this. We're going to secure the battery with... Or actually, let's get the standoffs in it first. So let's pop those in. Let's unplug my soldering iron too so I don't burn myself. Or people who do one-handed activities at the computer a lot. Like eating and sipping cola. Alright, they're next. Alright, let's fully think here if there's anything else we want to do in here before we seal this up. I do want... Where's my... I gotta go back there. I got my screwdriver all the way behind me. Oh my god, this chair does not like to spin. Alright, get some sound back. Alright, let's assemble this thing. No, are you still here, Clark? Are you here? I don't know if you went away or not. But I assume you're an early riser because I got an email from you at like 4 a.m. when I was like going to sleep, and I was like, yep, early riser. So it's probably sleep time. Screws. Is this Christmas music again? Christmas jazz music. I don't want Christmas music. Get out of here. Okay. Where did that go? Alright, let's get these standoffs on. I also don't want to put too much pressure on that right now while it's in this weird state, so let's put that there. Grab a different bit, because that's the wrong one. Bah humbug, Xmas music. I don't mind Christmas music, but not in almost March. it's no. No Christmas music allowed. Actually funny because I was thinking to myself though I should dedicate in like a random month just to listen to Christmas music. Because, you know, it'd just be kind of a thing to do. Like, why not? Might be funny. Yeah, this build too, I'm looking at our time here. We've been live for 2 hours and 13 minutes. It took about exactly as I estimated, which is good. I'm trying to get better at estimating times for builds. Like, it's just something I want to kind of get better at estimating. Because, one, it makes it easier when telling people what it would cost to build a build for them. If I know, like, exactly how long it will take. But also, it's easier to, like, be able to schedule my time that, hey, I'm going to need 2 hours to do this. So it's kind of almost perfect today, which is great. Why don't you put standoffs directly in the frame? They're not strong enough. That's one main reason. So, and the threads are so small, and I don't want to rely on the plastic as the the point of contact. Like, at least I know with a brass standoff, so like these here, these brass standoffs, I know they're strong enough to withstand multiple screwing and unscrewings. But like a plastic one will eventually wear out. So that's the main reason why I don't do that. Get the standoffs in here. We are going to have to do some movement of these wires to get it where I want them positioned, but it'll be mostly fine. Man, I'm listening to this jazz right now, and I wish I could listen to some of the stuff I've been listening to recently. I just want some, like... Not that this music sucks, but I want some good music. And, like, I can't because YouTube doesn't like real music. Well, they don't like it. They don't like it when they can't get their cut and copyright strike you. So, alright, what do we want to do here? Let's make sure that this is all perfectly sealed in there. So let's blast with some more UV light. Oh boy, let's just look on the screen over there so it'll burn my eyes out with some UV light. That green stuff there, I mentioned this earlier, that's all flux. So that green stuff is flux on here. Flux glows in that color, which actually, yep, you can see it on there. That's the flux rosin flux core. So yeah, I'm just going to keep blasting this a little bit. Actually, you know what? We can put a little bit more over there, just to make sure it's really secure. There's just not much there. Oh, where'd I put my resin? There it is. Okay, let's blast this with some light. Look over there. Okay. Kick my compressor underneath and felt like I ripped the thing out of it. "47 people still watching me. Cure UV light. Let's go. Got this UV light curing stream going hot right now." Which, if you don't know, UV resin actually gets hot when it cures. So if you have it on your hand and you hit it with UV light, you'll burn yourself. I've done it before with gloves on and it hurts. Let's make sure that's really solid in there. Alright, let me make sure that these connections look good. Everything looks good. I think we're good to seal it up. Let's do a little bit more here. Alright, so we can pop this, make sure our wires... Well, nope. Gotta take this. No gloves, no mask. This man learns from his mistakes. No, I mean, I should really be wearing at least probably a mask or gloves with this, but I'm doing it so quickly that I'm not worrying about it. But, yeah. Don't do what I just did there, basically. And don't use a glove and mask with UV resin, because that's bad. Alright, so this is going to be a pain in the ass with this little connector here to get this wire the way we want. But what I need to do is get the battery secured. And I'm going to be using Captain tape. It's just heat tape, but it's a pretty decent way to kind of secure it. And also, this will hold it in place, so it's like a double secure. But if you ever need to replace it, you simply take this stuff off and you're good to go. So we'll just take a long piece of this. Cut that off. Cut it right about there. Take this and put it on there. I'll hold it. I don't like how those are kind of sticking up, so I'm going to flatten those a little more. My dentist once burned me with UV light. Yeah, they use UV light to cure the stuff on your teeth. They do that. Hey, glad I made it. Hello, is it Sean? Is that Sean? Or Zine? Sean? Zine? I'm glad you made it. Even though I don't know how to say your name. English is hard for me. This is a recurring theme whenever I stream, is that I'm bad at the English language. Or pronunciations. Can I get one more piece in there? I'm gonna really secure this thing because, like I said, it's a client build, so I can't just easily pop it open. If the battery starts rattling, I'll have to have them send it to me. So I want to avoid that. So I should get a piece right in there. Yeah, there we go. Which looks a little rough, but what's that? Let's also snip this off. Jean Lewis. Alright, that looks to be secure. Secure enough. Now we have to figure out this thing, because this is going to be a pain to get routed right, I think. Maybe not, actually. Nope, actually not. That just kind of did exactly what I wanted to perfectly. Because that's like a really thick connector. What is this music? Oh, no, change. Right there. Captain Tape always looks pretty. Yeah, you, Jean Lu? How do you pronounce it? Spell it out. I like to get pronunciations right when I can, but I typically butcher them. Let's make sure. Are we good in here? It looks good. I think we're good. Take this, take this. Put the middle one in just to start. Alright, that looks pretty good. No wires seem to be clipping. And that controller should be held in pretty good, so it shouldn't pop out because of the UV resin, which is great. Pop that one in. Only 5 screws to get into this. Oh, it's Sean, like Sean. Don't know why my parents use X instead of S. I mean, it's unique. It's pretty good. Alright, there's that. Let's plug it in, make sure that we didn't break anything when we did all that. We should be able to come in here. Now, how do I erase? Okay, so let me pay attention here. I hold this button and this one. Okay, so that's that. That does that, and then if I hold... Flip us there. If I hold this and press this, okay, that deletes. We have all our buttons here. So it is fully functional. This switches us to the number layer, which I do have to fix. Battery needs to be replaced. Is there a reason why you didn't use that tape to secure the controller? Oh, okay, people are answering him. I didn't realize people were answering for, but yeah. The battery can be replaced. The controller is permanent. It doesn't need to come out, so. Now, there is that, which looks good. Let's pop on the keycaps. Now, the keycaps I mentioned earlier, we have 2 options here. We have these clear ones, which he's going to try to put... He has stickers for the original frog pad, so they're going to try to put those on it. But I'm going to just put the default, like, Scotto caps on it, because I think they'll look nicer. And I'm going to try to convince him, Clark, if you're here, to use these, because I think they're better. But then trying to make them work with the frog pad stickers, because I don't know if it will work. But stabilizers feel good, which is always a fear of mine with stabilizers, because you put a board together and then they can not work, but those feel good, so I'm happy. Cool. And now we have to get this set up as it looks on there. So this is an A. We have an F. Any plans on building a macro pad with knobs and faders? Well, it's funny you ask that, because I just used it right there, but I'll show you. I built this before. Do I have it on? I just built this. There's a stream and everything. So that's on my website and all over if you want to build that. But yeah, it has knobs, which is cool. We have S. Where does S go? S goes here. T goes here. U. Like how that one's sitting so much, but we'll fix that. H. Does H go that way or that way? Or that way. We have extras of those. Let's pop these on down here. Wait, where'd it go? There. Okay. Read that one. Now, the stickers might actually sit on these too, so you might be able to do that instead of having to take them off, but they're not backed with like a color, so that's a problem. R. Where does R go? F-A-R. Too bad they didn't put T here and it just went fart, but they were adults about it and they put, where is it? They put a W there instead of, so it's just far. And then it's like a P. Actually, it's like farb. It's almost like Colmac. F-A-S-F-A-W, something like that. Y. Where does Y go? Y goes down here. These keycaps are really on there too, so it's going to be hard to get them off. That there. We have a D that goes here. And we have O. Okay, so there is the completed Scotto frog. Faroop. So that's completed Scotto frog. It is Bluetooth wireless, so I should be able to see and hear. If I go to my settings, I just type Bluetooth. Add device, Bluetooth. It's showing up, so I'm not going to pair it because I don't want to mess with the stuff there. But what I do want to do is I'm going to plug it in, switch over here. We're going to do a typing test. We're going to see if we can type on this thing. And I'm gonna suffer through this. So let's go to, let's see if we can get to monkey type by typing on it. All right. Let's see what we can do here. So we have a completed board. All right, let's see what we got. So M, where is M? All right, so we had to press this key and this. We'll get M. Wait, no. Am I on the... All right, so hold on. I'm on the number layer. So we have to press the number layer to get out of the number layer. No, wait, no. Now we're on the number layer. We were on the symbol layer. Hang on. Thinking. Let me just replug it. That's the quickest way to reset it if you don't know where you are. Just do that. So now I should be on... Oh, no, I'm not. Hang on. I'm on the number layer. How do I get out of the number layer? Now I'm on the symbol layer, so I'm on symbols now. Oh wait, no, you just yeah, okay, never mind. You just press it to get out. So if you press it, it clicks you out or in. So now what we want to do is we want to backspace. So backspace is this key and this key. Okay. So that's backspace, and then we can delete forward. Okay, so we can delete forward like that. Okay, so there's that. We want to go to monkey type. So we want to type. Where's M? M. Okay, so we want to type M. O. N. K. Yeah, there we go. My dad just said good night. Good night, Dad, if you're still watching. E. Where is E? E. Y. T. Y. E. E. And then how do I get a dot? Do I just press this? Wait, hold on. No, that's a slash. I don't want that. I want... No. I don't want that. Jeez. Hold on. Okay, there. So a dot is right there. Dot. Okay. And then... We're getting there. Actually, wait. I have a better view. I can do this view. Then you can see my reaction as I do this. You know, we can have that dual reaction. Okay, I'm just gonna put this here, though. Oh, no, wait. We got to backspace because we didn't get C or... We didn't get comm, so we have to backspace. No. Hold on. It's this one. Backspace. Okay. So we want C. So C... This is fucking hilarious. O. M. Alright, we got it. Now where's enter? We're almost there. Enter. We did it. We went to monkey type. Success. All right. Now we get our typing test. Let's give ourselves 60 seconds because we're gonna need it. W-I-T H. Where's H? Where the hell's H? H. Space. L-A-T-E. Oh, we're getting there. M-U. S-T. Space. T-H. It works. It works. O-U. G. Where's G? Where's G? Where's G? G. H. See how fast we can type call. Oh, yeah. I can see how you could get used to this, honestly. V. Where's V? 7 words per minute. 7. The smooth jazz while watching a man's descent into madness is great. Yeah, yeah. I gotta mess with the key map because the one thing on this that's still an issue is that if I switch to... And I don't think this wasn't an issue on Mac, so this is a Windows thing. It's actually good I'm testing this. The first person I built it for never actually said anything about it, so I guess they didn't use their arrow keys, or their number layer. But if I go to my number layer, and then I try to type... So you can see these are arrows here. Wait, no, is that not my number layer, though? Is that why? Oh, no, that's my symbol layer. Hold on, wait. I might be dumb. I might be no. Hold on. Number layer. Where's number? That is number. Wait, hold on. That's not my number layer. That's why. That's part of it. Wait, no, that is. Never mind. That is. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I am right. But this should still work with backspace or no? Okay, so yeah, you can still... It's so confusing. I know that the people that use frog pads know how this thing works, but... That is the one thing, though, is that... Wait, do I have a numlock key? Oh, yeah, I do have a numlock. So wait, hold on. Maybe that's why. Maybe it does work. So if I go back to... I'm out of the number... Or no, I'm still in the number layer. How do I get back to my main layer? That's default. Press... Okay. Wait, no. Now I'm in my symbol layer. Hold on. Okay, now I'm in the default layer. 8th in context. Got a balance. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging around. I'm gonna keep descending into madness, so have a nice rest of your night while I go insane. Alright, so we want to type the numlock. So what we want to do is we want to go first to our symbol layer. So now we should be on the symbol layer. Okay, we're on the symbol layer. Then we want to press this one and the top right to get... Let me pull this down here so you can see what I'm talking about. I want to pull this one in the top right, which will enable numlock, right? Numlock. Then we can go to the number layer, and we should now have nothing. Gotta reset it. Gotta reset it. That's the one thing too, is that if you lose where you're at, there's no indicator, so it's kind of hard. So you just kind of have to reset it or replug it. But if I make this down here, let me see if I can get you a better view here. That might be a little better. Maybe not. Pull that there. Let's see what we got. So I want to get my numlock on. How do I get numlock? Alright, I'm just leaving it this way because I gotta figure this out. Alright, so that deletes. So we're in the main layer. We want to go to our symbol layer. Symbol. So now we're on symbol. So why does that not backspace, though? Why is that doing a right click? What am I... I'm doing app... Oh, because I'm in the symbol layer, it's app hold. Okay. So I have to get out of symbol layer, then I can backspace? No? Okay. So now I'm in this layer. I want to go to symbol. Then I want to go to numlock. Out of symbol. So why does it keep locking when I numlock? Is it because I'm in a different layer? Numlock. Why would that lock? I think RGB LEDs and the mod keys can give a lot of feedback. Yeah, they could. But forget what I'm getting lost where I'm at, so I think I'm pressing like a reset or something. Yeah, because I don't know why. Did I maybe bootloader it? Let me replug. Alright, so we're back plugged in now. So it's still in the symbol layer. Oh shit, that's because replugging it isn't actually resetting it. So what I can do is hold these and then reset. Okay, yeah. So that I'm remembering now, because it's been like a year since I've actually typed to this. You hold these buttons here, then you can reset the board if you ever get lost. So you can reset it there, and then we're back on the main layer. So if I get lost, I can just kind of do that to reset it. But then what I want to do is... do I have to press... I want my numlock, though. So if I go to the number layer and I type this, so we're on the number layer here. So that's number. We can get back to the main layer. Then we can type symbol, which will give us a symbol layer, so we have our symbols. Which you're not seeing. I want you guys to see this so you can see what I'm doing. Let me just go to the screen. I'll just go to this. No, I want screen overhead. There, okay. This is probably better. Now you can actually see what I'm doing. This is probably more useful. So if I go... so we're on symbol layer. If I hold this, then we're on the secondary symbol layer. But now we have to combo them. Oh, it's a hold. It's not a combo. Print screen? Alright, so hang on. I go to symbol. Oh, wait. Where am I now? Now I'm in number layer. I'm so lost. I'm so lost right now. Space works. Alright, so now I'm on the default again. That's where I want to be. Okay. So I'm on default. I can go to symbol layer. So now we're on symbol. Press that, and then we can go to number. Yeah, I have no idea. I have to look at this. I think I just want numlock on all the time so you don't have to deal with that. I think that's what I want. So then you don't have like weird stuff with numlock. But unless they reset it again. So now we should be on the default one. So how can I command A? Let's alright, so let's go to symbol. So we're on symbol, and then we can go to hold control. Okay, so that worked. That did what I wanted. So that selected everything. I can delete. Okay, so we'll delete. Then we'll go to symbol. So enabling numlock seems to just not allow it to do anything. Just waiting for like a command. Yeah, I'm not sure. It works. So I have to mess with it because Clark was asking about a mouse layer too, which I can probably put on thinking which layer I can maybe put it on the locking layer. So if you press these three, this will actually lock the board so you can see that it's not working now. And then if I unlock it, it will work again. So I'm thinking maybe I can put it on there that it's a mouse layer, or maybe you can have another button to kind of layer into it. But I'm not sure why I can't get numlock to work. That's a little bit annoying. I have to figure that out. But everything else works. Like if I go to, so I'm on the main one. If I hold this, I can do hold control, and then I can do A to select that, and then I can just delete it. So it's like a one-shot key. The single color LED is not RGB. Yeah, I could do that. That's what I probably would do on an iteration 2 of this, with some RGBs, or an LED, at least, to say that you're on symbol or number layer. But, why is numlock locking the board? That's... I'm curious why it's doing that. Unless... Let me see. So if I go to symbol... Oh, now I'm on... Oh, shit, I have to disable hold control, too. Okay, yeah, so it's actually not a one-shot. It just kind of stays on. Is there an escape on here? Yeah, I don't know. I have to mess with this. Luckily, what I did is it's easy enough if I do need him to reflash it. I can literally just have him hold these 3 buttons, press this, drop the firmware on because it's just a UF2 file. It's a nice nano, so that's actually easy. So you can just flash those onto it if I ever needed to send him firmware. So he can kind of configure it to his liking, which is good. Which will actually be nice to see someone that actually used the frog pad kind of refine the firmware with me, which will be cool, but it's 95% of the way there. But with that, let's just put the things on the back of it now. Let's put these on just to finish up the kind of look of it, just to make it sit better. And I might also test Bluetooth just because I can, because I probably should, just to make sure. But that's there. That has those on it. He did also ask about putting an indicator on the middle key, I believe. So I'm just going to pop that on there just as a reminder. This is kind of all I could really do with these. I don't know if that might actually work. That might be fine. I don't know. It's not the prettiest, but it does work. Let me clean this up. So yeah, I think we've been going for 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's almost 11 o'clock. I think I'm going to end this stream here. I do have the board working. I'm going to have to message him about this and start getting everything to be the way he wants with it. But does anyone have questions before we finish this up here? Because this was probably a longer stream. I guess it is a longer stream. 2 hours and 40 minutes. I am hungry. I need food, even though I snacked like half an hour ago or an hour ago. But anything else before I dip on out and finish this up tomorrow with the firmware and stuff? I'm actually going to test that Bluetooth. The diameter of the nozzle, please. I print with a 0.4. Pretty much everything I print is just a 0.4. Add device, Bluetooth. Okay, that connected, cool. Cool, it did connect, awesome. Matrix wired encoder. It's the same as just wiring up 3 switches, basically. But that's actually a good idea there for a video, matrix wired encoder, because a lot of people don't show it. I do want to show encoders, and I'll just include them in the video. Thanks for another good stream. Do you think you'll get into doing handwire things like trackballs? I want to do a handwire trackball. I used to be a big trackball user, but I haven't done that in like years. I pretty much just use I use MX Master now. I use these. But yeah. Home bumps for is the win. Yeah. It's a big one, but it is a bump. So, but yeah, I'm gonna head out. I'm tired now. This is a long build. I have to figure out that numlock issue with it. I think that's just that numlock isn't firing the way I want. So I'll figure that part out. But yeah, I'm an Apple Magic Pad and mouse guy. Magic Mouse terrible. Magic Trackpad very good. Apple Trackpad's very good in general. So that's what we got. We got the Scotto Frog. Yeah, I'm happy with it. So I think it looks cool. It works. I mean, obviously it works. I've done it before. I built this way long time ago. But yeah, I have to figure out the numlock issue. I'm gonna hop off now, clean up my mess, and go eat some food and chillax for the rest of the night. I think what I want to do is another stream. I do have builds behind me. There's 2 builds back there that I want to do. I'm going to stream one of them, and then one's going to be a video. But we will stream one of those builds. But I have to go figure out the rest of this. So I'm going to get off. Thanks for hanging around tonight. This was fun. I will see you on the next one. Bon appetit. Yes, I'm going to go feast. I always feast after streams. I always feast. So, all right, guys. I'll see you.